Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. So before we get into the continuation of that new prototype I've been building, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale, so if you'd like to support my work, you can purchase that at the Steam page. The link for that is in the description below. I also have Udemy courses available for sale. Those will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. So definitely check those things out if you're interested. And thank you all for the support. And yeah, what we're going to be doing today is working on some animation and asynchronous stuff. So I actually, last night, I made the whole flow, the turn flow, asynchronous. So that means that I can await certain things. And I think this is actually going to be really good for the gameplay. So now, you know, if multiple cards all execute at the same time, it will execute one by one and play their animations and stuff. And so you can actually see what's going on rather than like everything happening at once and continuing on. So if I click begin here, oh, I should have put some cards on the board, I suppose. Let's do that real quick. So if I put this here, put that there, and get this one here. Okay, begin. So you can see that when multiple cards across both boards execute at the same time, the progress ticking briefly stops while all of those animations are processed and all that damage and stuff. You can see I've got a very basic damage effect. Obviously this is lacking a bunch of oomph, but this is just prototyping. So, but yeah, so now you can get a nice, good visual representation of what's actually happening in the game here. And I think that's a lot more satisfying. So there's a couple things to do here still with this system. I need to figure out some things. And yeah, so we'll be doing that, and that will involve probably some more asynchronous work as well. But, you know, that's how it goes. But anyway, let me say hi to everyone. Hello, Aniki, welcome back. Toad time. I am not sure I know what that means, but it sounds like a good time. Oh, Firebelly, my name. Oh, shoot. It's going to be one of those days, I guess. Good morning, Winners Studio. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Splat. Welcome back. Great to see you again. So yeah, let's take a look at what we got going on. So the big thing that I want to figure out is that incense. Hold on a second. So that incense item, what it does is it reduces the turn cooldown by 1 when it triggers, and I want that to play an effect on all of the cards that it's affecting. So if you're gonna have, so if I'm gonna have like buff cards like the incense, I need to be able to indicate which cards that is affecting, and I actually don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I think maybe what I'll do is, well, let's figure out this first, which there's one problem here, which is that when the incense triggers, it triggers the, if the incense completes its turn and causes another item to complete its turn at the same time, they both execute at the same time, which is not good. Because what I want to do is I want to show the player, hey, the incense has triggered, it has affected these things, now this thing is full, and now it's going to go, right? It needs to be very, like, segmented and ordered. The problem, though, is that inside of the incense here, I go to the speed option. What this does is this actually reruns the life cycle for the affected card during this execution method, which is asynchronous. So then it awaits that. So what's actually happening is we get into the speed ability. It awaits the execution of the card that it triggers and then continues on. But I actually don't want to do that. I don't want to do that in here. What I want to do in here is, yeah, and I don't know how the animations are going to work either, because right now what's happening, I think, is that when a card gets triggered, it's playing, let's see, playing an animation. So this play animation here. So find all references. So this play animation is actually being called if the card is going to execute abilities on this tick. So this card animation is not actually tied to any particular ability execution. It's just the animation that I should probably rename this. If I rename this to play trigger animation, that actually makes more sense, because that's exactly what that is. So it's playing a trigger animation. It's just an animation to let the player know that, hey, this one has completed and is now executing. And then in any sort of execution here, what will happen is there are some abilities like the damage ability here. Let me think, actually. Let me think. So where is this actually? This is kind of a mess. Board. So I have this notify ability executed, which I'm not entirely sure I like. So what essentially is happening in here is so there are multiple abilities per card, or there can be multiple abilities per card. And then when the abilities are executed for a life cycle tick, that's either the tick or the post tick here. What happens is after the ability is executed, the board is notified of that ability execution, which then gets passed along to an effect player component, and based on the ability type, it can generate an effect. Now, I actually don't think that I want to do this. Because now I'm the problem is that, well, shoot. I'm not really making use of any of the asynchronous executions in here. And so the thing that I'm kind of wondering is I wonder if I should put the animation trigger inside of the execute or not. There's a part of me that's like, no, these abilities should be purely logical. But then there's a part of me that's like, I need to be able to control the ordering here. Because one problem is that, imagine if I had, well, like the Viper. The Viper has damage and poison. And so, do I want the Viper to play both the damage and the poison animation? I think so, right? But that means that they need to happen sequentially. But as it stands right now, what happens is the damage will get, well, the damage and the poison will execute. Will they execute at the same time? I guess they won't execute at the same time. I guess the way that I'm handling this sequential ordering of animations is through that notify that I just mentioned, because this notify ability executed is awaited inside of the loop here. So as the abilities are executed one by one, we await for the ability to execute, and then we await for the ability to be played. So I almost wonder if I should not make these executions asynchronous. I wonder if I should make this so that it plays immediately. The problem then, though, is like, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if I should do that. Let's see. So the only place where something is actually awaited inside of an execute is in the speed here. So I think I just need to figure out a way of making this not have to be awaited. But how do I do that? Also, this is wrong. I need to make this work with the value here. For var I equals 0, I is less than value I plus plus. That would have been a bug if I wanted a value that was not 1. So I need to maybe what I'll do in the turn executor component here is instead of run lifecycle for cards, what I can do is I can private queue card stats rerun lifecycle queue, something like this. I mean, this is kind of messy, but I think this will be easier. So instead of run lifecycle for cards being public, I guess this can be a list. Yeah, I guess this can be a list. So instead, what I'll do is I'll add a public method, public void add card to rerun lifecycle list, card stats, rerun lifecycle list dot add card stats. So then what do I do here? Run lifecycle for cards. So I'm going to call that obviously, but let's see. Let's do that here. So let's do execution context.turn executor component dot add card to rerun lifecycle list affected cards. For each var card in affected cards. So I need a nested loop here. Typically nested loops are not a good idea, but I think these numbers are going to be small enough where it doesn't matter. Add, so then we can do card. So we're basically going to add the card multiple times to the list if this value is greater than 1. So if I'm speeding up the execution by 3 turns, then it's going to be added to that list 3 times. Return task dot completed task. Or I guess I can just do return. Well, it's not asynchronous, so I can do return task dot completed task. I think I am going to get rid of the asynchronous execute here. I think execute should always just happen immediately, and then any awaiting should happen here. I think that'll work. Anyway, so add card to rerun lifecycle list. So that means that after the turn tick, after the post turn tick, so these are relatively similar here. The only thing that's different between these things, I think, is this will execute abilities. Where is this being used? These do not need to be public either. So let's do private. All right. And what I'm going to do is I am going to say private async task run life cycle tick base card ability dot life cycle tick enum dot tick. I should probably move that enum for tick. Okay. And this needs to accept card stats. And then I can do this. Boom, boom. And then in here, for tick. Okay. So then I can just, for ease of use, I could say run lifecycle tick card stats base card ability dot lifecycle tick enum dot tick, and we could do await. Copy this, paste this here, post tick, and then that will all happen in there. Okay, perfect. So those are all private now. So now what I need to do is in this run lifecycle tick, await task when all. Then what I need to do is I need to say for each var rerun lifecycle list, or for each var card in rerun lifecycle list, await run lifecycle for cards. Actually, run lifecycle for cards, rerun lifecycle list dot clear. Okay. Is that going to work? I have no clue, but let's see. Hello, Nikrita Archive. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. So let's see if this works. So what I should see now is that this incense, when it triggers, it should trigger by itself first, and then anything that it accelerates should trigger as well. Oh, now the animations aren't playing? I'll have to figure out why that's not playing anymore. But that seems to be working now. Just, excuse me, making sure that this is modifying the turns properly here. Is it modifying the turn? It doesn't look like it's modifying the turn properly. It does not look like it's working, actually. Oh, you know what? I think it's being complicated by the fact that that alembic is consuming turns. Let me try it without the alembic here. Put that there. Put that there. Give me that. Okay, begin. Yeah, it actually doesn't seem to be working. So why is that not working? Speed. For each of our card and affected cards, add card to rerun lifecycle list, add rerun lifecycle for cards. Hello, Dione, welcome back. All right, so why is this not working? Do I need to debug this? I don't want to debug it. Rerun lifecycle list. If rerun lifecycle list dot count is greater than 0, gd.print yes sir indeed. I'll do this before I go and debug it. Let's just do it with 1. Let's see. Let's look at the output. It is not printing yes sir indeed. Very interesting, very interesting, very interesting. So it's just not working. For each var card and effective cards, I is less than value I plus plus. Is my value never being set properly? Let's see. Incense new speed 1. That's coming in here. That's going to be value. I plus plus. Turn executor component. Add card to rerun lifecycle list. Is the query not working? Okay, well, let's do a debug in here then, and we'll see what happens. Maybe that query isn't working for some reason. Also, I'm kind of worried why the effects are no longer triggering. Maybe that refactor that I did broke something. I guess it's possible. Let's take a gander. Oh yeah, look at that. It's not actually ever executing this. Why is that happening? Interesting. Okay, so that's never actually being executed. Incense, speed. Maybe none of the abilities are being executed. Wait, is the damage even going? Oh, the damage isn't even going down. Okay, so nothing is working. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting, very interesting. Why then is this not working? Await turn tick. Run lifecycle tick. Or tick. Did I make a big mistake here? What happened? Was I correct? Base card will execute abilities. These are the same. Task when all await execution task. So if not card stats is cooldown finished, that should be there for sure. Oh, wait. I see. There's actually a problem here. Is there a problem? No, I don't think so, actually. I don't think there's a problem. Turn tick, post turn tick. It's triggering the animation. But are these... Oh. This is saying execute post tick abilities. Okay, all right. Yeah, this needs to change based on... I might as well just get rid of these and make this public. Might as well just get rid of these. Go to my turn executor component. Execute abilities for lifecycle tick. 4 tick. Okay. That's probably why it wasn't working. Okay, we should be working now, so I'm going to remove that. Okay. Hello, Luan. Everything going well with the new game? Yeah, I mean, yeah, just prototyping here. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Great to have you here. Okay, so everything's playing now. Okay, good. All right, good. So now, let's see. Let's take this here, that there, grab the skeleton, boom. Okay. So now I should see that the skeleton will execute, it will attack, the snake will attack, boom. This. Ooh, yeah, see how that works? Nice. Oh, we're in an infinite loop. So what's happening is that cooldown must never be reset after it runs its life cycle tick for some reason. Post cooldown tick. Isn't this where it should be reset cooldown if executed? Is cooldown finished? Why would that be happening? Run life cycle for cards. Cooldown tick post. Why is it not resetting now? Why is it not resetting? Okay, let's go back to speed here. Let's put this in. It's very tricksy. Are you planning to stick with C#? I remember you talking about moving to GDScript after Gunforge. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with C#. It's just better for me, I think, in terms of organization and structure, especially with this kind of game, like just the life cycles and the ordering and all that stuff. Plus, because I'm working with a game board here, being able to use Link to do various like queries and filtering is very nice. Those things would be a hassle to write in GDScript, so there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Great to see you again, as always. Hello, Progyon. Welcome back. Good to see you as well. So these affected cards... Base card, card definition resource. So Skeleton Warrior... And Viper, that's correct. Add card to rerun lifecycle list. So we're in the tick here. So let's go here. Rerun lifecycle for cards, yes. Run lifecycle for cards. It's gonna run it for the skeleton and for the Viper. And let's just make sure that this... Oh, is this just being triggered over and over again? Run lives. Oh, I see. I know what's happening. This rerun lifecycle list needs to be... I need to create a new list and pass that in here. Because it's going into rerun lifecycle, this is going to turn tick, then this is going to run lifecycle tick, then this is coming back down here, and this list has not yet been cleared. So what I actually need to do is I need to say var... Or let's do rerun. Let's do var. No, card stats. Rerun cards is equal to rerun lifecycle list. Then I need to do rerun lifecycle list dot clear, and then I can pass in that newly created array there. So that needs to be cleared before it goes into the next lifecycle tick. So this is like recursion, basically. That's what was happening. Okay, so now that I've broken that apart, this should be fine. So skeleton's gonna go, let's see. Viper's gonna go, that's gonna, yeah, sweet. Okay, so I just need like a, I just need like a, whatchamacallit. An animation for that. This is getting very complex already. I think if I had an animation that showed the incense affecting things, that would be helpful. Hello, Frazomania. How you going? Found your Udemy courses. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome to the channel. Great to have you here. Hello, Damien. Welcome, welcome. Lots of familiar faces. That's good. And also some new people here. And of course, I know that there are VOD watchers and lurkers out there. You are very much appreciated as well. I hope you're enjoying the content, watching me struggle to make a board game. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out how to do an animation for the incense. I want there to be like, oh man, how am I gonna do this? This is gonna be difficult. Okay, let's just do something really basic here. So let me do this first. The tricky part about making a game like this is like, there are so many ways to make it an absolute spaghetti mess. And so it takes a lot of effort to avoid that. What I am gonna do though, is I am going to, I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna remove the asynchronous nature. Oh wait, I do need to keep async, but I can do void here. We're not gonna make ability execution asynchronous. So this is gonna be public abstract void. We're no longer gonna do a task here. So all the abilities are gonna be executed immediately. And then we'll just await this, which is what will play the animations there. Not even sure I like that, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Execution task, that animation task. Oh, I guess this does need to return a task. This one does, but the individual ability execution doesn't. Because this is going to play animations in here. So, okay, so damage, we're going to do void, get rid of this. So it'll be easier if I just go here. Void, remove that, remove that. void. Yeah, I think it's better just to make all these abilities execute instantaneously and then handle the animations outside of the abilities. I think that's just going to make it much cleaner. Because these abilities, ideally, they should just be kind of like... I don't think that they should really be tied to the animations or the visuals. I think that they should just change the game state in the way that's necessary. Now, this turn consumer, though, why does this need to be awaited? Speed? No. Temp poison. Oh, wait. Let's see. Skeleton warrior. Oh, alembic. Yeah, this doesn't need to be asynchronous anymore. Temp poison execute. Yeah, we don't need that to be asynchronous anymore. So let's go to my temp poison. No, my turn consumer here. This is an action. I don't know what that int is. What is that int? Action. Consumption callback. Okay. We should probably make sure the alembic still works. Yeah, I think it's just going to be much cleaner to just define everything in a straightforward synchronous manner in terms of the abilities and then just play the animations externally in response to ability executions. Let's see if this works. Begin. So what the alembic does is it consumes the turns of anything that is in the column or the row. What's interesting is that it actually triggers twice, though. Don't know why it does that. But it appears to be working. Why does that trigger twice? Why does that trigger twice? Where is the card? I think I looked at this morning and I already forgot why it's triggering twice. Oh, because it has a post tick and a pre tick. Or it has a... No, not post tick and pre tick. If I go to my alembic here... Temp poison... Because it has two abilities here. That's the problem. So it's executing both abilities. It's executing the turn consumer and the temp poison. The turn consumer, this triggers on the post tick, which honestly, I'm not even sure. I think I want to move away from this like pre-tick, post-tick, tick kind of thing. I might want to keep it, but I think what would be better, and I was thinking about this morning, if I just made the cards execute in a predictable order every time, then I could just have them tick one at a time, and then the player can actually use the predictable order as part of their strategy. So it would be simpler technically, but then it would also add an element of depth to the game. And so the way that it works is that the way that the predictable order works is that it starts in the top left corner. And then it sees, is there a card there? It will execute that card first. And then it goes down. You see, is there a card there? We'll execute that card down here, so on and so forth. It doesn't actually do that. What it does actually is it converts each cell into a sequential number. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. And then it queries for all the cards on the board, and then it gets their sequential value based on their root position, their top left position, and then it executes the cards in that order. And so now I don't even know if I need the pre and post tick stuff. I wonder if I can just because before I was just I'm trying to manage the order, so like they should all tick their cooldowns at the same time, and then they should all tick their abilities at the same time, but then some abilities need to happen after that main tick, and like I could see this becoming very fragmented as I need more granular control. And so I'm wondering if just providing a predictable order and then surfacing that to the player, right? And putting like a priority number where like the player can actually see, okay, this one's going to execute first because it's number 1 and this is number 2, right? So allowing the player to be able to see which order the things are going to execute in as well. That's something that I'm interested in doing. I'm wondering, I probably still do want to tick all of the life, the turn cooldowns at the same time, just so that I have an up-to-date state about what all is going to execute on that turn. But then I think I probably just need this turn tick. I don't know if I need this post-turn tick at all. I'm not even sure why I'm using this in the post tick either. I don't think this needs to be here. This is the only ability that uses the post tick. So I wonder, I mean, let's see what you guys think here. I accidentally bought the Godot 3 platform one, even though I use Godot 4. Oh yeah, it's not a problem since I paid half price for both. Yeah, well, I appreciate the support. Even if you don't take the course, you know, that's a chunk of change for my budget. So thank you, thank you. Hello, Adaton. Great to see you, bro. Adaton is my IRL friend. If for those who are unaware of the lore. The struggle is fun to watch, lets me know that it's not just me, yeah. Find it hard to move on from a problem I can't solve, end up smacking my head against the problem until something breaks, yeah. It's not always the problem, unfortunately, yeah. The head breaks from the smashing, yep. Takes the wife to come in and break the moment of autistic focus. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things with the chatbots that are getting better is that I actually find that the chatbots help you break through walls pretty quickly too when you're struggling with a problem. If you explain the problem well enough to like an LLM, sometimes, and oftentimes it's getting increasingly more common as they're getting better, is that they will just give you a solution or mention something that you missed to help you solve something, which is nice. Only 16 here, so can't relate to that one, but the girlfriend does a text or call during my hyper focuses. You've got to put on do not disturb. Silence. Sounds about the same. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to try this. So let's see. Okay. I don't even know what is this work here. What even is this? Okay. I love these commits where I spend like an hour working on it and the game is functionally the same after it, but like the internals have changed. So light refactoring around card lifecycle. So what I want to do is I'm going to try this for a little bit. So I'm going to keep the post turn tick stuff in place. I'm going to keep the post turn tick stuff in place just in case I want to resurrect it. But for the turn consumer here, which is the only thing that exists on the post tick lifecycle, I'm just going to turn that back to normal tick. So this is functionally what I'm trying to move towards. So we're going to do the cooldown tick. And that's going to tick everything's cooldown so that when we get to this turn tick, now the whole board state is updated in terms of like, okay, now I know when one ability executes, I know what other things on the board are going to execute this turn as well. So that's going to help. And then the post cooldown tick, that just resets the cooldown. Right, okay. So these three things make sense. And now that the turn tick is happening with an ordered run life cycle for cards. Oh, you know what? This is actually tricky too. This needs to rerun in priority order as well. So what I'm going to do is board inventory component dot order cards by priority rerun card. Actually, you know what? Let's do it up here. var rerun cards equals order cards board inventory component dot order cards by priority rerun lifecycle list. So that will happen in order too. So again, all this is doing, this order cards by priority, this takes a list of cards that are on the board, and then it converts the cell value of that card into a sequential value, and that's just the X value times the board height plus the cell Y. So that creates a sequential ordering where each cell essentially gets a unique integer assigned to it, and then you can order by that, and that makes the ordering predictable. Okay. Let's comment this out. What is this up here? What is going on? What is that? I don't like this. Where did this come from? What? Is that new? I do not like this, Sam I am. How do I get rid of this? Configure editors? Okay, well, I guess I'll figure that out later. I'll figure that out later. Anyway. So yeah, let's give it a test here. Now that I'm basically using just a single tick lifecycle for everything. I do think that this is I do actually think that this is going to not only simplify the code, but actually add a little bit of strategic depth, wherein like the cards that are closer to the top left corner of the grid are going to be executed first. So you can kind of build out your ordering however you want. So that means that the Viper is going to execute. That's going to execute. Did that do anything? Of course, the order only really matters if there's multiple cards that are going to execute on the same turn. So a lot of the time, the cards are going to execute just by themselves, so that doesn't really do anything. Is this no longer working? Did I break it again? I don't think the incense is working anymore. Okay, well, time to debug. Actually, that's one of the things that I changed. I think. Maybe not. Do not disturb is on. The notify anyway feature on Apple phones is seriously smashes me. Oh, yeah. Oh, the MacBook too, yeah. I never got all of those notification things set up on my desktop. I think I've pretty much permanently silenced notifications on my Windows, and I don't have my phone connected or anything. Notifications are just like huge productivity killers. Also, I just don't like the idea that people can just get a hold of me on demand, you know? Not that I don't want to talk to people, it's just that I'm busy. I have stuff to do, you know? Card definition resource. Alembic. Viper. So all of those are correct. Add card to rerun lifecycle list. So where is this? Run lifecycle tick. Let's go here. Rerun cards. Let's do this. Rerun cards.to array. I enumerable does not contain a definition for toArray. Oh, I can see the results here. Okay, so that's all the same. Run lifecycle for cards. Is it not executing the turn tick here? Cooldown tick. Turn tick. I wonder why that's not working. Oops. Why is the incense not working anymore? Enumeration yielded no results. Am I just wrong? Is it actually working? Let's see. When this ticks... Oh. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be actually updating that. Why is that not happening anymore? When the incense fills up, it should advance the skeleton and the viper and the alembic by 1 turn. But that does not appear to be happening for some reason. Why is that not happening all of a sudden? That skeleton should have executed. Did I do something wrong? I mean, the answer is yes, but where? Where did I do something wrong? I was expecting to get more work done today, but for some reason, this is just being difficult. Speed. Why? Abilities that add speed. It's doing this, add card to rerun lifecycle. It's calling run lifecycle for cards. Or no. Await run lifecycle tick. It's doing the order cards by priority. It's running the lifecycle for those cards. I wonder what happens if I do this. ToArray. There's one situation that I'm not entirely aware of in C# where like there's a situation where you can like exhaust an enumerable or something, where once you enumerate it, it can't be enumerated again. I don't know if that's true, number one. I just remember encountering a situation like that one time and being like, oh, that's tricky. So I'm just going to convert it to an array and see if that works. Okay, yeah, that's working. That might have been the issue. Maybe it's related to link. Let me think. Order cards by priority. I'm gonna preempt that issue in the future by just adding a ToArray to this. Stats. I'm just going to preempt that issue, convert it to an array inside of this call, and then I don't need to worry about that here. I don't need to convert it to an array again. Okay, I think that's what was going on. Let's just double check and make sure. You got new jams. It's one I iterate or I rotate between 3 different copyright free background lo-fi. All right, thank you Frazomania for joining. It's 1:35 a.m. Well, have a good night, and I hope to see you in a future stream. Hello, Boogie W. Greetings to you as well. Welcome back. Okay, so everything should be working now. Cool. So let's figure out now. Wait, did it execute the Viper twice now? Oh, goodness. I think that did happen. I gotta fix that too. So when the incense triggers at the same time that an ability finishes, it actually ends up triggering the ability twice, which is not good. I don't know how long I have to wait for that to happen again. Oh, here we go. Nope, wrong. Okay, this would be easier to check without the alembic, because the alembic is consuming turns and resetting things. So let's do this, let's do that, and let's do this. I thought, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on a second. The incense should be excluding anything that already has its cooldown finished. So the incense will not target any card that already has a finished cooldown. So I actually might just be wrong. Hold on a second. I think I'm just wrong. I can't seem to get the, let's see. Let me change the Viper here. Let's make this turn cooldown of 6. Or no. Yeah, let's make it 5. We'll make it the same as the incense, so that they trigger at the same time. And we'll see if we get a double trigger from this. It shouldn't happen. I don't know what I was seeing before, but I don't think it's possible. Let's see. Yeah, see, it went again. Why did it go again? Am I not excluding? Let's see. Speed. Query board. Oh, I need to... Yeah, I'm forgetting to filter .where x not x.is cooldown finished. I think I must have forgotten that to bring over that query. I think I was doing that before, but then when I refactored how the query board works, I think that I probably broke that inadvertently. Okay, let's see if that works. Are you making a backpack battle type thing, or would you mind explaining the vision for the game? Sure, yeah, let me do that in just a second here. Let me make sure I've got this fixed. Horty Porty, or welcome back. All right, so let's try this again. Boom. So now the snake should never be executed twice. The snake will go first, boom. Yep, okay, perfect. So I was just forgetting to do that. And let me just try one more thing, which is that I want to make sure that my priority is working. So if I put the snake here and I put this here, the incense should fire first now, but it should still not do anything. Nice. Okay. Perfect, perfect. So I want to put the Viper back real quick. All right. Fix some bugs. Okay, so yeah, the vision for the game is, let's take a look. Necromancer grid, assets. Just bring up my mock-up here so I can talk to it a little bit easier. Did I group? Oh. Okay, so yeah, so this is like a grid-based auto battler, so it is similar to like games like Backpack Heroes in that respect. It's necromancer themed, so you put your little minions and trinkets and relics and whatnot on the grid, and you want to optimize it so that they are providing buffs and bonuses to make your car or make your board very powerful. So we were testing with the incense. The incense, when it triggers, reduces the remaining cooldown of all of the adjacent items by 1 turn. And so the idea is that turns are basically just ticks in the game. They can happen over an arbitrary amount of time, but every turn, you know, things happen. So when your item executes, it provides its bonuses, and it will either provide a bonus to your board, or it will damage the enemy board. So like the Skeleton Warrior does direct damage. The Viper does direct damage and applies like a poison status, which does damage over time. And so the idea is that, yeah, you want to collect cards. It's a roguelike formula, so you beat encounters, you encounter events and whatnot, and then you gain new cards, new abilities, and you try to make your board as strong as possible. I want to enable the ability to grow the board as well as part of the progression system, so you can actually just get more powerful by having more slots. And then I also want to do a sort of alchemy system where you can mix cards together. So I'm building everything compositionally, which means that I can theoretically create a card that has basically any ability whatsoever. And so I want to do like an alchemy system where you could take 2 cards, any cards you want, and merge them together, and then it randomly chooses abilities from one card and abilities from the other and combines them into a brand new card. And then that's a way that you can grow your power, create like really broken builds, because you could get a card that just has a really massive synergy with something. So yeah, that's the idea. Kind of similar to that new game, The Bazaar, kind of similar to Backpack Heroes, but I'm hoping to add my own little twists by doing the alchemy stuff, making the grid a little bit interesting in terms of like, it's not going to be a perfect rectangle shape always. And then having different like board debuffs and stuff. And the enemies you face are also going to have a board that you have to kind of counteract. So that's the idea. Obviously still a lot of work to do on it, but yeah, that's how it's going so far. So I'm actually going to, let me do a poison. I want to do a poison effect. I know I want to do an effect for the incense, but I don't really have a good idea of how to show like card buffs. So when something like incense, it doesn't attack the enemy, so we can't play an effect on the enemy board. Its ability is to buff cards that are on your board, and so I want to somehow show an animation to that effect. But I don't have any good ideas for that. But I do have an idea for like a poison damage indicator that I want to do. So I'm gonna work on that and just get a feel for how that looks. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I am going to take a quick 2-minute break real quick though, get a refill on my drink and all that good stuff. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. You can purchase Gunforged on Steam. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will be right back in 2 minutes, and we will do some poison animations. Oops, I switched to the wrong scene. I'll get fired. Fired from my job. Making that mistake. Anyway, let's do the poison thing. So I've got, this is just kind of like a garbage document that I'm just throwing everything on. What's nice about this is that I just have like a reference that I can use, although this reference is actually incorrect now because this was drawn on a 16 by 16 grid cell, but I actually changed it to be 18 by 18 for a couple of reasons. One big reason I changed it to 18 by 18 is now I can add a black outline around the card sizes, and that creates a better separation. So when the cards are right up against each other, there's a black section, right? Which creates a cleaner separation. It's less muddy. Whereas here you can see that when the lines are directly adjacent to each other, it kind of blurs together, which doesn't look terrible, but I also needed room to be able to show the turn indicators and have some padding on either side of it. So yeah, anyway, that's a tangent. Okay, so what I wanted to do for the poison is I wanted to create like a big, let's see. Create like a skull. This needs to shrink, I think, a little bit. Should probably do this. We'll see how this goes. Whoops, that's way too big. We'll try that for now. I think maybe what I can do is bring this in even more. There we go. That's starting to look a little bit better. So anyway, so we got a skull here. I think this actually probably needs to be that color. And then let's see if I can make some decent looking eyes here. Some decent looking eye sockets. That's not bad. Okay, then we're going to try to make a respectable mouth somehow. We're gonna see. It's hard to do it with two colors. That's not actually looking terrible. It's a little bit too happy. That looks okay. I think it needs to go up a little bit. Okay, I think that's fine. For now, anyway. Let's get rid of this. Just do a highlight up here. Only problem is these colors aren't really dark enough. So I wonder if I did... Ooh, yes. That is much better. Could still probably use this color for this kind of shading here. And then around the nose. It doesn't look great. Okay. Actually, I wonder if I should do... Yeah, I should probably do those kind of highlights here. Yes. Okay. Is there anything else I want to do? I think that looks fine. I wonder if I should make the teeth probably thicker. Doesn't look terrible. Although what I'm not really doing here is I'm not really utilizing the outline separation kind of style here, which I think could be a problem because it's not consistent. No, that looks terrible. Yeah, I wonder if I should do that instead. Like using the black outlines for separating the parts. I think that that needs to be done here to some extent to make it match. I should really actually be using the color here. Then for here, like here, I think I can do something like that, maybe? That looks a little bit more... Yeah, that looks a little bit more like the style that I want to go for. This looks a little bit weird. Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, wait a minute. No, that looks kind of weird now too. That looks kind of weird now too. Although I could do something like this instead. I'll just keep it the way it is, but maybe I'll do that instead. Or... it's fine. It's fine for now. Remember, the jawbone is a separate object, and if you differentiate the two, it'll even look more like a skull. Let's see how this goes. Wonder if I should just remove that. Oh, let's see. Maybe it was fine. This needs to be thicker here. Should put on the symmetry. Let's put on the symmetry again. Yeah. Cool. What are we thinking? How's that? That's not actually that great. Let's see. I think this... Let's try this. That looks good, I think. Yeah, why not? So this will appear over the board to indicate poison. I'm not done just yet, though. I have more tricks up my sleeve. Okay, I have more tricks up my sleeve. We have to make the classic bone skull and crossbone, you know what I'm saying? Probably don't want to do both of these. Well, do I? It's kind of hard to see. Let's do this for now. Ugh. Okay, let's just do this. No, get rid of the symmetry. Do that. I want to give it a little bit of contour here so that it doesn't look like a perfectly straight line. This is too much over here though. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. This, I think that this maybe just needs to be a little bit thinner over here. I don't know, it's really hard to tell. I think that's good. I think that's respectable. So then in here, what I'll do is I'll just take this, outline this over. And I could also probably emphasize the fact that there's some depth here by doing that. Okay, so there's that. It's a little oddly shaped right now, but add in the shading here. Okay. Maybe I don't need that little bit. Do this. Okay, let's see how this works. Oops. Okay, and then the last thing that I'll do is I'll just provide some separation here. Or do I need that level of separation? There already is a separation, kind of, I guess. But what I can do is I can make this dark here. All right. That's a decent poison indicator, I think. Effect, poison. Alrighty. Yeah, that's looking decent. That's looking pretty cool. So what I want to do is let's go ahead and create that poison effect. So create new scene. Poison. Oh, I'm going to call it poison effect, I suppose. Poison effect. I need to create an abstract class or something for an effect that can play. So damage effect. Do I really need to do that? I don't think so. Let's just copy this. Why did that? Oh, I need to get rid of this. Okay. So we'll go to the poison effect here. Of course, we want to add the sprite, 2D poison, kerblam. Okay. Awesome. Hello, Vishal. Welcome back. Great to see you. Good day to you as well. So we don't want to skew anything. I'm going to set the scale to 0. I'm just going to rewrite this tween. Tween.tween property. We're going to tween the sprite2d.position, or sprite2d string property name. Oh, this should be sprite 2d.property name.position. We're going to do variant final val vector2.up times 8 double duration 0.25 tween dot parallel dot tween property sprite 2d string sprite 2d dot property name dot scale variant final value vector 2.1 over 0.25 set ease type out set transition back. Okay, this probably needs to have an ease of out set transition cubic. Okay. And then we're going to basically do the same thing here. Let's turn this down to 0.15, and then this can be 0.15. This is going to go vector2.up times 32. Cubic. Okay. Let's see how that looks. I want to do some particle effects too, but let's go ahead and see. So if I go to my effect player component, whoops, effect player component, poison effect. Case, poison. Oh, I'm going to need to add that now. So I gotta rewrite this constructor now, and then set the effect type is equal to effect type enum.poison. I'm gonna need to do the same thing for the other poison. So I might as well just copy this, paste that there, rename that to poison. Okay. So effect type enum poison. Poison effect. Okay, that should be all that I need to do. So let's go ahead and see what happens. With the Viper. So the Viper should do the damage first. Oh, and then the poison. Ooh, look at that. But it went a little bit too quickly. I think what I need is a tween.tween interval 0.1f. We can increase this speed a little bit. Try not to make the animations too long because you'll just have to sit through them, and that could get old. But I want them to be long enough so that you can tell what's happening. This is probably up too far. Should turn the Viper cooldown to 1 so I can see it easier. Honestly, this can probably go up too. Change the scale to sine instead of cubic. Neozoid still lurking. I'm gonna put the alembic in here too. Oh, I didn't assign. Oh wait, yes I did. That's fine. That looks better. Okay, once I add some particles and whatnot to that too, I think that's going to be nice. I don't want to go too deep on the effect just yet though. But yeah, I'm thinking like having a burst of like green particles come down, you know, or even spawn it higher and then make it look like it's spraying poison on the board or something. Okay. So there's a couple of big questions that I need to answer before I go too deep on like animations and combat and stuff. And I think now is a good time to start adding some UI elements. So being able to show the level of poison on a board, being able to show, yeah, I guess it's just that's it. Being able to show the level of poison. I'm going to have other stats like shields or other status effects. Showing numbers for the damage that's being done, you know, all that kind of stuff. And there's going to be some issues with that too, because so the Viper, it does regular damage and then poison. And so the numbers need to be associated with that animation. But now that all of the abilities are being, well, no, actually, yeah, I think what I might need to do is, I mean, I'll figure it out, I suppose, but I need to be able to communicate to the visuals what number damage needs to be shown, the poison status that's applied and everything. I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine, but gotta figure this stuff out, you know? Hello, Polaris. Welcome back. So maybe I'll start by... I want to add like card inspection too. I think that's going to be very important. So that means generating a description for the card based on everything that the card has configured. That's going to be a challenging thing. But really, like there's only a handful of like somewhat challenging things that I need to figure out now. Generating descriptions for cards. I need to do the tag system, which is not going to be that difficult. Showing the numbers on the UI based on the status effects and whatnot, and the damage numbers. Once I get all those three things figured out, I think that will basically be all of the most difficult things figured out, because the things like the alchemy system that I want to build is just an outcropping of that. Like an alchemy system becomes rather trivial if I can just add a list of abilities to a card, which is exactly how I'm building the game. So I just choose random abilities from one card, choose random abilities from another card, merge them together into one list with a brand new card. Oh, look at that. You know, it's like you have your alchemized card that now has like 6 different abilities on it, you know? So yeah, I just have a couple more challenging things to solve here, and then I don't want to say it'll be smooth sailing from them, but I think I will have answered and figured out the toughest problems that I'll encounter. Because the rest of it is just like making more cards with more abilities, which, you know, as I'm doing more abilities, there are going to be situations that, you know, are going to be a little bit tricky to manage. But it's really just a matter of adding more cards and then, you know, creating the actual roguelike wrappings around it, right? So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm feeling pretty good. So let's see. Poison effect. I'm not going to go overboard on making the animations look good, though. I have some ideas, but I want to make it feel nice and chunky, but I don't want to do that just yet because I have to figure out some other stuff first. So add basic poison indicator, poison effect. Cool. Very cool, very cool, very cool. All right, well, I'm going to end the stream there a little bit early because the next thing that I need to do is the UI stuff, and I've only got 20 minutes left in the stream, so that's not really a good amount of time to get deep into anything. And I'm hungry, so I'm going to go eat some lunch. But thank you all, everyone, for watching. Thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate that. And yeah, again, purchase Gunforged if it's something that you're interested in. It's a great way of supporting my work. And also, if you do purchase it, consider leaving a review. I've been stuck at 44 reviews now for a couple of days. So yeah, if you purchase it, consider leaving a review. It's a great way to support me again. And also, I have Udemy courses available for sale, so you can check those out in the description below. And yeah, I hope I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for a continuation of working on this game. Hello, Luca. I'm just leaving right now, so bye, Luca. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.